In today's episode, I will show you some low quality footage. A Miata will drive slowly towards a wall, and a tank will think it's a radar. This is what my friend and fellow YouTuber Muye would call a brain car. Basically, a car stripped of everything that does not need to drive.
Dawaj, pal to. Ale to idzie, kurde.
This driver was having fun with his Nissan 350Z when he suddenly lost control on the corner exit.
Fairly massive moment then.
In 2014, all Formula 1 cars switched to turbohybrid V6 engines. To test this engine before the season, Ferrari put their engine into a test mule a year before the season. When you think of two-step, the last thing you expect is a Miata.
God damn! Whoa!
Here is the legendary McLaren MP4 doing a flyby. Here's a pro tip. If you are driving in a parking garage with blind corners, try to take them slowly. Also, you should know how to press a brake pedal. If you want to debadge your car, you need to be very careful to not damage your paint. This is how it's done. One of my viewers sent me his creation. He basically took the rear taillights of a Dodge Charger and slapped it onto his Nissan 240 SX.
Yeah, he said that, bitch.
Here's a couple of tiny BMW Isettas racing against each other. This is probably the world's cutest race. This is how you leave the highway in a Volvo. On the first glance, the Seekonk Speedway looks like a normal racetrack that usually hosts NASCAR and other road car races. But there's a cool fact. This racetrack has once been flooded with water to host a boat race. If you plan on starting a drift career, get a car with pop-up headlights for extra smoothness. This is the world's first Miata with paddle shifters and a dual clutch transmission. This is the Ford Sierra cosworth. It is basically the normal Ford Sierra, built to compete in the Group A racing category. The stock cosworth engine had around 220 horsepower, while this guy cranked it up to 470 horsepower. By now, I saw a lot of off-road Miatas, but I never expected someone to do this to a Nissan 350Z. Here is a BMW E46 M3 with a redline of 8000 taking off on a highway. The Miata may be a fun car, but if you are obsessed with your own well-being, it is not for you. This Danish Army Leopard 2A7, showing off his mobility. This Audi 200 Avant playing in the snow, while its turbocharger sounds like a jet engine. For a long time, breaking the 1-minute barrier on the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint was something that only the best drivers and cars could achieve. The first car to actually break the 1-minute barrier was a all-wheel drive Mazda RX-7, driven by Rod Millen.
Look on the way up at just how beautifully this car is balanced. It's almost mid-engine, and it just does everything beautifully. Really, to that 1-minute barrier, and he thinks it is within his grasp. As the track has dried out a little, the car is performing beautifully. Have a look as he comes down to the line. Are we going to make history at Ashley Forest? We have! 59.90! Rodney Millen has broken that psychological barrier on this hill, the 1-minute barrier. And he's happy too.
If you think of a scrapyard, you probably don't realize it is not as straightforward like putting a car into a giant crusher and calling it a day. Before it gets completely scrapped, all fluids such as motor oil need to be drained, tires removed, and then the car is left for a few days or weeks for people to find replacement parts. Only after this process the car is further being processed, crushed, and later the metal gets recycled. More than half of these clips that you just saw are being suggested by members of my Discord server. Without them, the quality of this series would be a lot lower, so a big thank you goes to them. If you also want to suggest some clips or even send in your own video, feel free to join this server. That's everything for today. All sources are in the description. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.
That doesn't make sense.